The New York Islanders down the Philadelphia Flyers 3-0 tonight in the Webster Bank Arena in Bridgeport, raising the Islanders' preseason record to 3 wins, 0 losses, and 1 overtime loss. So pretty good season so far for the New York Islanders. However, back-to-back games, we've now heavily outweighed the other team with our veterans. But of course, a lot of that goes to the rule where you have to play veterans in your home games. So that's why it would be so lopsided there. So everything said in this video needs to be taken with a bit of grain of salt due to the competition that they're up against tonight. So basically going into tonight's game, actually, first of all, I should say welcome to the Canadian Islander fan recap on this game. So great to have everybody here. So what I was going to be keying on in this game was going to be, since we obviously had our two regular season 1 and 2 lines. I mean, Barzell, Palmieri, and Lee are going to be line number 1, and Brock Nelson, Bailey, and Bo are going to be line number 2. We know that. That's no doubt about it. So I was going to be putting all my focus on the other lines, Uncle Leo, Zarnik, and Panic together. I was probably most interested on keeping an eye on Panic because I think he's had a good camp and I want to see if he's going to keep it up. And I know it's going to be tough with these two guys, but that's also one of the roles that Panic plays. So hopefully he can elevate Leo and Zarnik, but if Barzell couldn't elevate Leo, I don't know. I don't know what Panic's chances are, but anyway, you never know. So I'll be keeping my eye there, and I'll be also keeping my eye on Ross and Cole Bardreau and Andreoff on that line. And for the defensemen, I'll be looking at Ledoux, Hutton, and Gustafson, see how they do tonight. And I can't remember, who am I missing out there? Oh, well, we got debuts going on tonight. We got the captain returning. We got Anders Lee making his first game back since his injury against New Jersey. So it's going to be great to see number 27 back on the ice for sure. And we also have the debut of the big man, Big Z, 20 years later, back in an Islander uniform. We're going to get to see him tonight. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Looks like we got Corey Schneider to start for us in goal tonight. So going into the game, the Islanders were 2-0-1 and Philly was 2-1-1 after 4 exhibition games. So let's see how this one went. We had an early chance and to score, and we didn't. Oh, well, it was close, but then we went on the power play because of it. Just a beautiful power play goal by Bo. Some real fancy passing by both Bailey and Gustafson on this one. And it was only 1 minute and 33 seconds into the game. And I was like, oh my God, like that was amazing passing. We're not used to seeing that on the power play. And what a beautiful goal. So that was a nice way to set the tone for the night with a beauty power play goal. And then we went on the PK. Sure, bats puck over the glass accidentally, and so we're off to see how the PK goes. And so far, we're 11 for 11, and go 12 for 12 after this PK is over. And we'll have 2 more chances and kill both those off. So basically, after 4 games now, we're 14 for 14 on the PK. But once again, I would definitely. Those numbers are skewed. I mean, it's great that you do it against anybody when they got a power play against you because you got one more player in that. But in all honesty, in the 4 games, I can't think of one serious threat of a unit that we've had to face in any of the 4 games yet. There's just haven't been the players there. So I'll take it with a grain of salt, but still 14 for 14 is pretty good. I thought that Anders Lee was looking pretty good in that first period. He was flying out there and he wasn't afraid of contact. That was good to see. It was just great to see him back out there. And Barzy was flying. He's been flying all preseason. I also noticed Barzy's put on some muscles this year in his interviews. He's a little beefier. But it's a slim kind of beef. You know what I mean? He's not overly bulky, but he's definitely put on some muscle this year for sure. So that should be interesting that it'll get even stronger. I thought he was pretty strong as it was anyway. Uh, in the first in the first 10 minutes, Philly was getting a lot of shots compared to us. We just weren't getting anything really going in that first 10 minutes of the game. And then old big Ross Johnson came along and smoked Braun coming out from behind the net. And that kind of brought the tempo of the game up even a little bit more, which was really good. And then Matt Barzal drew a power play. Unfortunately, I would say the power play looked like mid-season form last year. So if you know what that is, that would be awful. So that's pretty much how that power play went. But what can you say? Preseason, whatever. And then Chera sends a bomb from the point, and it just about goes in. The goaltender just got a little piece of it, and it trickled down towards the goalpost and that. But yeah, that was a bomb by Big Z. So it's kind of nice to see that for sure. And then, of course, we had good old Mr. Josh Bailey. He was also in mid-season form. When I say that, he passed up a great scoring opportunity to throw the puck into a crowd of people when he had a wide open look to the net. And yeah, it just kind of baffles me because I see the assists he makes on the power play, and in the future on the next assist he makes tonight is gonna, well, actually, was that an assist? No, it wasn't an assist. I'm thinking of the time he does a spinorama with Dobson there. That was unbelievable pass, that one too. So why he does that, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It was even funny. I even noticed in the spinorama to Dobson that he made, when he broke to the middle, he went to go past the puck, and then as he looked straight ahead, there was an Islander to be found. So his instincts kick in for once and doesn't just chuck it to the opposition. He does his wicked spinorama. And then as he does his spinorama and comes out at about the 270-degree mark, I notice there's a wide open lane to shoot. But by this time, he's almost whiplashing the stick with the puck because he knows where Dobson's going to be coming in. And I knew he was going to try it. And there was about 2 or 3 people to go through. And I said, no. And as he passed, it went right through, right on the stick of Dobson. Dobson makes a beauty move, but got robbed. So yeah, those Bailey passes are a mystery to me, why he passes up scoring opportunities. And I've never really got it because he's always got a really good shot too. So but like I said, I'm not going to get on Bailey's case because Bailey's been performing in the last 3 playoffs. So, if Josh wants to saunter through the regular season, I guess I'll let him for now. But anyway, he actually had a really good game tonight. So kudos to Josh there. And then Anders scores. Oh my God, the pressure these guys had on Philly all night long. Well, especially in the first period, the Palmieri, Barzal, and Lee line just had them hemmed in almost every single time. And then just such a typical Anders Lee goal. It's what he does. That's how he puts them in. And I got to say, I really think Palmieri looks really great with those two. Really, really good. I keep getting surprised. I remember I got surprised last year. Palmieri's just one of those people I just didn't really know a whole lot of or hadn't seen play a lot. And I never had him pegged for as much speed as he's got. And yeah, it's a really nice bonus. I think that's going to be a killer line for sure. Absolutely. 100%. So yeah, Lee scores at 19:05 from Barzal and Palms. On the first goal, it was both from Bailey and Gustafson, and Gustafson made a really nice passes in that and made a great entry to get in there as well. I noticed that as well. So at 19:05, the Islanders are up 2-0. And I have to say, when the period comes to an end, the top 2 lines on the Islanders looked like they were in mid-season form. They were absolutely flying out there. But once again, with a grain of salt, you got to take it because we are playing a preseason game for sure. So at the end of one period, it's the Islanders 2, Flyers nothing. Shots on goal, Philadelphia actually outshot us 7-6. So now we're headed off to the second period. And boy, oh boy, the first 10 minutes of the second period, what a yawner. There was just nothing going on from either side. If anything, Philly had us hemmed in most of the time. I think at one point the shots were something like 6-1 to Philly with about 13 minutes into the period. So yeah, we weren't looking that good. We weren't looking that bad, but we just didn't have the mojo going for sure. I thought Chera had a really rough second period, really rough second period, a lot of giveaways, but a lot of that stuff seemed to look kind of like rust, getting pucks lost in the feet and kind of thing. That's typical rust more than anything. I always found like when I was rusty, pucks were bouncing off my stick into my feet and stuff like that. So Chera and Lee were coming into a game where lots of these other guys have played 2-3 games already. And it's a huge uptick from just going from a team scrimmage game just to preseason. Because even though you may be playing against slugs, those slugs are trying their butts off because they're trying to make the team. So they're coming at you hard. So no matter what, Russ definitely played a part with Chera having such a bad, he really had a bad second period. There was no other way to look at it. Yet, on the other hand, I also saw him make some really good plays. So hopefully it's just the rust and we'll get more of the good plays than the bad plays. And I thought Dobson was great alongside of him. He definitely took control as the offensive guy on that line. I liked it. He was carrying the puck. He was getting some nice breakout passes. So good on Dobby there. So in the second period, we're getting hemmed in a lot. And it goes on like this, like for about 13 minutes, I believe it was. And then Bardreau draws a penalty on a breakaway. I kind of thought it could have been a penalty shot, but in preseason, why take a penalty shot? I'd rather have some work on the power play for the Islanders. So that worked out good. It wasn't a bad power play, but once again, no result from it in scoring. And Anders, you could definitely see some rust on him in that power play. He just kind of took his sweet ass time in the slot there and totally got stripped. And yeah, that's just a reminder, Anders, the game moves fast. So get her moving. So I kind of chuckled at that, and Anders will know that, and he'll adjust accordingly. So I have no worries about that. That's why I kind of had a chuckle at it. I really liked what Pelech done, and I've never understood why people don't do this more often. I have been a proponent of it for a long time, and I wish I had known this when I was playing myself. I am a huge proponent, especially in this situation. If you're going to do a dump in and you're on a line change, like Pelech was going in there, and you dump it into the corner and the other team slugs in the corner, no pressure, picks up the puck, sets up, and then they leave, right? I love the high flip in, dump in, and drop that puck about 10 to 15 feet in front of the goaltender and let the bounce take what it is. I swear to God that 1 in 10 would go in the net. The puck takes such weird bounces, and that one with Pelech tonight almost went in. And why waste a dump in when you know they're going to get it in the corner anyway? I guess the fear is that they're going to break out on you. But the one thing that you'll notice usually on a dump in, maybe 1 out of 10 times the goaltender has really great control on it because it just didn't bounce properly or something. But 9 out of 10 times, he's more worried about blocking that puck because he knows it can take a weird, funny bounce. And that's enough to get your line change in because he's not ready to get the puck up right away. He's more thinking, oh shit, here comes another one of those lob-ins. And I'm a big proponent of it. I think you should do it all the time. Now, it probably only happens 4 or 5 times a game where you would dump it in. I'm not a proponent of when you're coming up the ice and dump it at the goaltender every time. However, once in a while wouldn't hurt because you can get some really weird bounces and pucks go in the corner and then there's chaos and everything. But I'm not saying doing it when you're making a rush and you're not thinking of changing, you don't have to dump it at the goaltender. Then I understand dumping it to the corner, getting in there quick and doing the forecheck. But yeah, I love seeing Pelly do that. And I've been saying that for I can't count how many years now. So great job by Pellick with that dump in. The last minute of the period was probably the best back-to-back action we had in the entire second period. Overall, the second period was pretty slow. And so the period ends with the Islanders up 2-0. Sorry, I didn't get the shots on goal for the second period, but yeah, the Islanders are basically in control. They have the veteran squad, and basically when our 1 and 2 lines are out there, we're dominating, and so any problems are happening are with the third and fourth lines. So you don't really have to worry about it too much because you know they're not going to be playing anyway. And yeah, so we get to the second period, and Corey Schneider's pitching a shutout. But I got down on my notes written down here. He certainly doesn't. When he was in there, he wasn't giving me the what I call a warm, fuzzy feeling. And to me, he just looked really slow going side to side. He looked even more slow getting up off the ice. And to me, that was a little scary. He got away with it tonight. Some nights the bounces are just going to go your way. I thought he was only going to play 2 periods, and then I thought we were going to see Soroki for the third, but not the case. Knowing how the Islanders operate and love their veterans and whatnot, if Barley isn't ready to start the season, I see Schneider going as our backup, even though I've already said, even though I shouldn't really say that because I haven't seen Scarish play that much. But what I did see out of him in a little bit of preseason gave me a lot more warm, fuzzy feeling than Corey Schneider does. Even though I was saying that Corey had a really good game tonight, but you know, there was definitely opportunities to score on him, but they didn't. So yeah, kudos on Corey. So now we're entering into the third period, and that's when early in the third period, Josh pulls off that spinorama move to Noah Dobson, and even Dobson had a great move going for the goal, but it was just a great play to break up, and they didn't get a chance to score. But wow, what a move by Bailey. It was absolutely amazing, and that pass was on the tape, and it was completely blind, but he knew he was going to be there. So I've done stuff like that before, so you never want to take away credit from somebody when that is exactly what Josh was trying to do, and he did it. So all the credit goes to Josh on that one. That was a beauty for sure. I also, early in the third period, starting to think to myself, I'm starting to like Erik Gustafsson more and more. I see him play. In the first game, I seen him, even though he got 2 assists, I wasn't, I wasn't gonna jump on the bandwagon and say, "Oh, this guy's great," because I seen him play a lot in Calgary, and I saw him play a bit in Chicago too. But the Chicago part was really good. But you also got to remember who he was playing with on that power play: Duncan Keith and Kane and Taves and whoever else they had, DeBrincat or whatever. But yeah, he's just been impressing me more and more every time I see him out there. And I think tonight that Erik Gustafsson solidified himself a spot on the New York Islanders for the 21-22 hockey season. I do believe a contract will be coming to Gus soon. So see if I'm right on that one, but he looked pretty darn good to me tonight. There's a couple of things that really stuck out that he did to me as well. I love his shooting mentality, Gustafsson's shooting mentality, and our entire defense shooting mentality, and even the forwards this year. I don't know what's going on. I have never seen and it's been in all 4 games, the shooting mentality from the Isles. They're shooting all the time. I mean, all of a sudden you throw a guy like Chair in there. I don't know. He had 3 or 4 shots tonight. So, we're breaking away from that old mentality of the Tavares era and what we've been in recently, with this no shoot mantra. But Gustafson, he was throwing bombs every chance you get. And you know what? The other thing I really liked about Gustafson tonight that really stuck out in my mind was I loved the way he walked the line in the power play. Now, try to picture this like this. This was basically what we did. We had Nick Leddy up here, and we had Josh Bailey or Matt Barzell down by the half wall. And so what we would do, we'd just pass that puck back and forth, and the 4-man unit would just stay basically stationary there. Now, and they would do it 3, 4, 5 times and nothing would be happening and nobody would be moving. I noticed Gustafson did it once. He passed it off to Barzell. Barzell passed it back to him, and he was really close to the boards as well. So Gustafson walked the entire line. I saw all 4 defenders moving, skating way over, knowing that there was probably going to be a shot coming from the other side, and they were hustling over, and the goaltender who was in a crouch had to get up and move around and look around and see everybody. That's what tires out a penalty kill. That's how you do it. And then you go back the other way. You got to make a move. We have never made the players move on our power plays. And that's what you got to do. I love his passing. He knows when to pass. He knows when to shoot. So now you got Big Z out there shooting. You've got Gustafson out there shooting. I saw Dobson was shooting away tonight. I even seen Hutton shooting as much as he possibly could. And yeah, so I loving this shoot first mentality. And I think it's going to pay huge dividends for us this year. I really see us scoring a lot more goals than we did last year. So trying to temper my expectations with it being exhibition season as well. But, you know, when things are looking good, they're looking good. But yeah, so I can't wait for the regular season to start so we can see for real where we stand. Yeah, and then Palms burst down the left side using his speed, and he does the old shoulder dig in to get around there. He made a nice play there, but he got stumped. And then Schneider made a great save right after that. He was flat out and stretched the pad out. It was awesome save by Corey there. That definitely kept his shutout intact for sure. And then Dobson takes a hooking penalty, and was about after our first line, Barzell and Lee, them getting pinned in our own end for about 60 seconds. And that didn't happen very much tonight because the Barzell line was mostly in the opposition end. But this one time we did get hemmed in. So Dobby ended up taking a penalty for that. So we went to the penalty kill again. And that's when we kill off our third of the night and went 14 for 14 for the preseason, which is where we'd stay at the end of this game. Then we get a late Islander power play at the 18-minute mark. So there's only 2 minutes left in the game now. And wow, I don't know what to say about this power play, but what was there, 10, 12 shot attempts in this? It was absolutely unreal. I have never seen an Islander power play like this, and I can't remember how long. It was bombs away. It was absolute gorgeous to watch. They retrieved every loose puck. The Flyers were absolutely literally exhausted, which is what happens when you shoot on the power play. Rebounds make people chase to different places they don't want to be. So that's why you shoot the puck. That only makes sense. And I was just like, my jaw was down the ground watching the whole thing going on. And I'm going, oh, it would be unjust if they didn't score on this power play. And it was funny while that power play was going on. That's when I was thinking, man, everybody's shooting. Everybody's shooting. Oh, except Josh. Josh's not shooting. And I think about the 12th attempt. It comes to Josh, and he finally lets one go. And lo and behold, Josh is the man scoring a goal. So great job by the Owls there. That was awesome power play. So we got 2 power play goals tonight. And yeah, overall, we looked really good. But once again, temper your expectations with the heavy laden veteran lineup for the Islanders tonight, and mostly rookies on the Flyers. Still, I thought our vets looked really good. They looked like they were flying. So let me take an overall look at what I think of most of the guys from the game. I'm going to basically pass over on the top six because I thought the top six were all awesome and excellent. They were all flying and they all had really good games, all six of them. So I'm just going to pass by them. I thought Uncle Leo had an Uncle Leo kind of game. He was pretty good. Zarnik is really fast, and I give the guy credit that he's got some serious speed, and there's always usually a place for a player with speed in the NHL. But the guy couldn't win a face-off to save his life. I mean, Philadelphia's absolutely destroyed him the last two games in the face-off circle. And the guy who did impress me in the bottom six was once again Panic. He still looked good playing with Zarnik and Leo. So nothing offensively spectacular or anything but he was still making things happen. He was having the puck down in the zone. So yeah, I thought Panic stuck out to me once again. I think Panic's really starting to secure one of those 13th or 14th spots for the forward right now. It's looking good. And then we had Ross the Boss with Cole Bardreau and Andreoff. Now, Ross, once again, I thought had an excellent game. I think he's 4 for 4 in good games. Nothing spectacular, but doing everything he has to do, making good plays, smart plays. So I like that. Cole Bardreau, that guy is basically just an Islander. He plays Islander hockey. It's not going to stick out to you. He plays Casey Zazika's Islander hockey. He'll give you everything he's got, hustle, plays with an edge, does everything. So great guy to have down in the minors. So I give all credit to Cole, but he may never see another NHL game, or depending on injuries, he may see some as an Islander. So you never know. With that kind of effort, we all know what Barry thinks of that kind of effort. So you never know. If there's one person that didn't really stand out to me the entire game, would probably be Andreoff. And that's probably not a good sign. When it happens with defensemen, that is a good sign in a lot of cases. But forwards, maybe not so much. The only thing that I'll give Andreoff and everything is and that bottom six is they are all playing the Islanders structure. You could see them, and I was starting to think to myself, well, this is pretty good. These guys are really picking up on it. And it's almost like no words need to be spoken anymore because everybody seems to have the system down pat, and they're all playing it very well. So that was my take on the forwards for this game. I thought Ledoux, Hutton, I didn't think they were very noticeable. The times I did notice them was good. Something little that they did well. So that's a good sign. And if you don't really notice them in a shutout game of hockey, they must have played pretty well too. You can't deny that. It's just a fact. So they played solid defensive hockey, which is what they're supposed to do. So good for them. Zdeno, I thought he had a little bit of a rough game, but he had also a couple of big highlights with just things he does with the poke checks and the big shot and the shoot first mentality, and probably leadership that's going on out there that we don't see on the screen. So other than that, yeah, just a little bit rough there. And I thought the guy who stole the show on defense tonight, other than no Dobson, I thought Dobson had a great game, but I really think it was Gustafsson. He had a couple of zone entries on power plays and made them look easy. And I kind of noticed that about our power play entries this time. We were doing it a little more by committee, which really took Philadelphia off guard. They kept waiting for Dobson to drop the puck back to Barzal. And when he didn't do it, they were so far behind that Dobby just brought it in, no problem at all. Gustafsson did the same thing. He did it one time in a little more traffic than anybody else had to do and made it look easy. So, yeah, I thought we had a really solid night from all our defensemen, and obviously we were really good in goal. From what I saw from Barry tonight, it was actually a really short press conference. It was about 3 minutes long. He's usually around the 10, 12 minute mark. But I'll tell you one thing. I love that man's honesty. The question that he got asked about Snyder. And man, Barry's honest. He's just honest. I mean, the question was, what do you think of Snyder? You know, are you playing him to go in? He goes, well, from what I seen of him in the first few games, and that certainly wasn't up to what I was expecting. He goes, but tonight's much better, much better. And I go, yeah, good on you, Barry. That's what I saw too. So yeah, it was really just short and sweet. It's kind of a little bit about Anders getting back in that, but yeah, Barry knows that it's just an exhibition game. And like I said, I don't know if I said it in the last podcast or anything, but I carried the Barry mantra into last season. The don't get too high, don't get too low. So I don't think it'll be too high or low over this game, and neither am I. However, it's always nice to win. I remember back in the days when we were a totally crappy team and we always lost these games. So, you know, and why did we lose to them? Because the other teams were deeper. For all the up top teams were deeper. Well, that's us now. So we're going to win more preseason games than we lose for sure. So, yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much it in conclusion for this first recap. So we got the Islanders winning 3-0. The Islanders outshot Philadelphia 30-24 overall in the game. Corey Schneider grabbed himself a shutout. We got Bailey scoring. We got Bo scoring. And who was the second goal? Oh, the Capitano, Anders Lee. So yeah, great game overall by the Islanders. I can't wait to get the regular season. I've never been able to watch all 4 preseason games before, and it's been awesome, but I'm already chomping at the bit to get me some regular season action. So anyway, overall, great game by the Islanders. Another 3-0 win, now going to 3-0-1 for the preseason. Everybody, you take it easy out there. Take care and peace out.